Hey everybody! I want to stop doing it this way, but I just feel like I gotta.
I know, it's so great. The energy is there. Especially after that game.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
We fucking won hard.
Roland told me right after. I'm Cyphus, that's Roland.
What's up?
He told me right after the match they felt like he was on, was it speed?
I feel like I'm on speed.
Yeah.
I did. I was on speed that entire game. Jesus.
No, it was
oh my God.
It was a good one. So the combo we got this week was Disruptor, Juggernaut. Let's go. Is there anything we need to talk about before we do this?
Other than the fact that I was super happy to get Jug, and it was cool that you got Disruptor.
Sure, yeah.
Spectre
it was nice.
Was a possibility, and I wanted to defer Spectre to you, and I wanted to play Undying.
Sure.
Because
Undying, he keeps popping up at the top of the list, like
I think it's for Pudge. It's because every time there's a Pudge, I think it's
Pudge.
because Pudge.
Well, we'll go through the pick order first, so everybody knows what we're.
I just feel like I need a punching bag right now. One of those rattle bags. What are they called? Where you're like.
Those are punching bags. Handbags? I don't know.
The things that spin back and forth. You have to like.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the little ones.
Like that's what I was doing, but really fast.
Yeah.
The whole game, dude, perfectly. It was like it was montaging as I was playing Juggernaut, dude. Juggernaut! Oh man, I've never felt more alive. Oh, that was great, dude.
Okay, one thing I will get out of the way before we wrap this episode is the next week is going to be a wonky week. And I realized that because of the way we're handling Wednesday, that means I'm going to be on 4 shows in a row next week.
You'll be on Monday. You'll be on Tuesday.
You're going to interview me on Wednesday. And then we have to be on Thursday.
Am I on 4 shows?
You will be producing Tuesday. You'll be on Wednesday. You'll be on Thursday. And I'll be off Friday.
Friday.
Because Ersey and Proud will be doing this
How
next week.
How are you on 4?
Because you're interviewing me. If you weren't interviewing me, I'd only be on 3.
And then I'd be on 3.
Yes.
And then Proud would be on 3.
Proud will be on 2. And Ersey will be on 1, 2. Yeah.
Counterattack and...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how that one's going to work.
So you're on 4.
Guess so.
Yeah, I've already got my interview questions prepped.
Nice. I look forward to it. So yeah, we're doing the Switcheroo week as part of the $1,000 Patreon goal, Patreon reward. So Monday you'll get Proudland, but it'll be me and Ersey. Tuesday, me and Proud on the Tuesday Q&A. Me and Roland gonna do a thing on Wednesday. Thursday, me and Roland get to do our own combo for Theorycraft Thursday. Finally, that show.
I would do Disruptor Jug.
Yeah, I know, I would too.
That was a great combo.
Okay, let's delve into this. So I did you folks have been listening along to Counterattack.
Foreplay, huh?
No,
Just straight into
let's go into it because this one was so good. It
was so good. Okay.
So I did the same spiel. We were in a nice position this time around because we legitimately got the last picks, meaning we got
the
4th
very
and
last
5th pick, and yes, we got the very last pick. So when I 4th picked my hero, I got to 4th pick into 4 of the enemy comp.
And when you
5th picked, you got to 5th pick into 5 of the enemy comp.
Yeah.
So we got legitimate counter picks for the old Dota picker. So first up was a Crystal Maiden, and we just kind of joked like, "Oh, let's see what pops to the top of the list." Nothing that wound up being at the top of the list.
Elder Titan's good against Crystal Maiden apparently, and I was like, "Oh, I hope Elder Titan." Like, I want to play Elder Titan, but no.
Silencer Zeus, Lash on the core side. Support utility was Elder Titan, Visage, Abaddon. These heroes wind up not being towards the top of the list. Should I pull up? Let's see. Our team, I think at that point, first picked a Tidehunter, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and he was going to go safe lane. And he's like, I can go in any lane. It's like, that's true for anybody, dude.
Well, I think, his MMR was 1860. I don't know. I think he was just thinking, I'm Tidehunter, I'll be kind of a support.
And his unfortunate item choices ended up being okay, but we'll get into that later. Yeah. Maybe we'll get into that.
Yeah, we should talk a little bit about the game near the top. So after the Crystal Maiden was a Puck, which I was really surprised to see. This started putting Spectre at the top of the list over on the core side. We still had Visage and Abaddon. We started seeing the first inklings of Disruptor and Undying over on the support utility. I was psyched to see Spectre because, like I told you before I got here, I played like a 19 and 2 Spectre
when he showed
game.
up. He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm just gonna play Spectre. It's just Spectre from here on.
He's so strong. I finally feel like I unlocked him.
You're like a year behind on me at all times.
I had my Spectre love shortly after you did before.
Like when I was like, dude, I'm only gonna play Spectre.
The problem was Spectre. So after you did your like 20 game streak on Spectre,
16
or whatever,
16 games in a row.
Okay. All right,
One
16
wins.
Well, I gave you 20. You should
on my
shut your mouth.
17th game, I lost.
Okay. So after you did that, I got into Spectre a little bit right at the tail end, right before they nerfed Spectre.
Yeah, right before Badman style went away.
Yeah, and then
it was a nerf to Aki, which is what nerfed Spectre.
Okay, so
and I think some nerfs to Spectre.
I started playing Spectre there, and I was doing the noobest thing in the world, which is I was rushing Radiance too fast. So I was losing a lot in Spectre, and then I started picking Spectre up again when I started running through my solo queue on the recalibration account, and I just kept rushing Radiance, and somewhere along the way I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna play Spectre that way anymore.
You gotta get some items.
And yeah, I started building. Like I told you, I started going Vanguard Urn, which I think would probably would make Proud roll over in his grave.
No, I think Vanguard Urn's fine. I think Urn Aki is. I mean, Aki's great because it's like 18 damage for an Agi hero.
But I've been doing that and then going into
like doubling up on...
into Manta Diffusal, and then I go back for the Radiance. And
some might say that's too late. Some might say just don't go Radiance.
I think the Radiance is always good on Spectre, especially after you have Manta and with Haunt. Like Radiance is always.
And it's the evasion, like because even though you're evading a hit, it's still going to disperse that damage out. I believe. I'm going to go ahead and be an authority on that and make it sound like
Doppy
what
does
I
not
say
stand
is
behind the
true.
statement. Doppy does not stand behind the
Don't we have a bunch of corrections? Don't we have a correction email?
We did have a correction emaal. We'll get to that at the end of the show if we get a chance.
Okay. Well, shouldn't we do that? Okay. Well,
I mean, we're already delving into this.
Okay.
So anyway, so Spectre popped up at the top of the list, and I was getting kind of excited for a Spectre run. But I think it was it after Puck, the Bristleback, and I think
Bristleback. I thought it was
Bristleback was their third pick because I put him in this order.
Oh, okay.
And that made Spectre drop down on the list considerably.
Well, you're usually chasing people, and you're usually hitting them in the back. I'd say a Spectre.
Well, and you're not building a Silver Edge, and you're not doing a lot of things.
Even though Desolate's pure, but it's still going. I don't know how that works.
So that started putting Silencer, Sniper, and Jug towards the top of the core list. Undying had popped to the top here. We were getting excited. We thought we might get to play the Undying game. Silencer, Veno, Elder, Titan, and then Disruptor still down there in the fourth pick for the core. Then at this point, our allied team comp was Tide, Necro, and Bounty Hunter.
Yes.
The Bounty Hunter only picked the Bounty Hunter. He made sure to let us know because he managed to ban Slardar. So,
okay.
Just FYI. So Slardar would not have been eligible for pick here.
Because amp damage is because you can see him. That's why.
So at this point, we knew the Necro was going mid. We knew the Tide was going off. The Bounty Hunter wanted to roam. So this was looking like a legitimate team comp, which meant Roland and I were going to get the safe lane. We needed to pick a support, and we needed to pick a core. After this, the enemy team picked up a Pudge. Undying was at the top of the list, but we
decided that Bounty was already our 4, and we needed a 5 position, not another 4 position.
And so I did want to play the Undying, but yeah, he feels like
Undying
a 4.
was the best pick, but he's not a 5. He's not. He doesn't have a stun. He's just not a 5.
The next two, I'll allow us to be open to criticism from those out there that want to criticize, but the next two on the list were actually Silencer and Warlock. We went down to the 4th pick to grab the Disruptor because he felt like the legitimate 5th pick, or the legitimate 5
barely.
slot
So
support.
Silencer I would also say is a 4, and then it was Warlock at 5.9% advantage, and then Disruptor at 5.8% advantage.
The Warlock, and I know some
and
people,
I was like, it's up to you. Pick the Warlock, pick the Disruptor.
Warlock
I don't give a
still
shit.
feels like a 4 to me. I felt like I really do feel like in the spirit of picking A5, we didn't need Disable, but in the spirit of picking A5, I think Disruptor made the most sense.
Is a little more 5-y than a Warlock, even though Warlock is a 5.
I think he can be, but so we went with a Disruptor. That felt like
we would have been
one.
so low on lockdown, and how the hell would we have dealt with Slark had you picked Warlock?
Which was beautiful. Yeah, that's true. The best thing about this all is that I pick up that Disruptor, and they grab Slark, which immediately throws Disruptor to the top.
Yeah,
of the
which
list.
I don't know. Don't pick Slark into Disruptor. That's I didn't realize they did that.
Yeah. I know.
I guess Slark was,
just
like,
okay.
In the pick phase.
And that left Jug sitting up at the top. Jug, and we'll get into the advantages here, but he was listed as an advantage over everybody but the Slark.
According to Dota Picker.
Right. So the Slark basically did enough to knock Silencer off the top of the list. I don't know if you would have run. Would you have run a Silencer core?
Sure. I will do anything that I have to do.
Yeah, I mean, I would have...
see it? You see Silencer core? Like, it's
I
one
would
of those...
have supported it. I would have been nervous about it, for sure.
Yeah, but I would have fucking been nervous about it. I don't feel like that would have been good.
I think it would have felt like we were pretty light on hard carry with the Necro-tied Bounty Hunter Disruptor if you had gone Silencer, I'll say.
For sure.
So they picked. That's how we wound up with Disruptor and Jug using the old Dota Picker over DotaPicker.com. Feel free to contact us and pay for advertising at any point, guys.
Serious, because you get like a long ass spot every single Friday.
We need to hit up Lollipop at Dota Buff and be like, hey, why don't you guys do this so we can feature the Dota Buff here. But we do feature Dota Buff for the rest of the segment.
Dota Buff's fit like 50 minutes of it. Dota Picker's like 10 minutes of it. So
let's do a quick overview. Let's do a quick overview of the game.
Okay.
So laning phase went swimmingly. It was the two of us up top.
I have the game open. I'm just gonna have the slider. So at 10 minutes exactly, I'm looking at phase, Aki, PMS, Wand, Quell. I went back for like all the cheap items. At one point I had a 1k gold and I was like, I'm gonna buy a poor man's shield and I'm gonna finish my wand. I didn't start with the double slipper like you're supposed to or anything.
But you had the stout. Although it might have been better, honestly, to just hold on to the stout and go into the Abyssal, because you did end up going Abyssal this game.
19-minute Manta phase, poor man's Aki wand. And then 22-minute Divifusal.
Nice.
So yeah.
So the laning phase against that Bristleback was devastating for him. I was by 10 minutes I was 2-0.
Well, let's talk about what we were talking about at the start of that. We both forewent items we otherwise would have gone because we knew Stick was going to be great.
Well, so that's actually not true. I would have picked up Courier and Wards, but the Tide Hunter picked up...
Oh, yeah.
The Tide Hunter picked up 2 Wards, and the Bounty Hunter bought the Courier.
It was great.
So I was able to start with... Windlace, Stick, and I think I told you, because I waited 2 seconds to lock in the Disruptor. I lost 2 gold. I had 48 gold. I was 2 gold shy of a fucking clarity. So I went Tangos, Windlace, and Stick into lane. Yeah. And we got so many fucking charges off of that. Well, the Bristle was
he just walked in and just kept quilling, and it was quill level 1, and I was like, 15 mana to Juggernaut, which I believe is what a wand or a stick provides for mana. Yeah, health mana 15 per charge. So when you have a 300 mana pool, or 288 at level 1, I think is what Juggernaut is. That means, like, dude, I held on to my mango forever. Like, I didn't need shit. Because he just kept quilling, wasn't doing much damage. I bought 8 tangos. So I would just tango up.
We killed him when he was level 1. Because we killed him before he had... So I think what really fucked him in lane was
he was too aggressive. He went Quill first instead of Bristleback.
He went Quill first instead of Bristleback into a dual lane against him.
Yep.
Which I mean I do that too. Don't get me wrong, but he played too aggressively with that Quill too early.
Quilling.
So I threw the lightning blast on top of his head.
Lightning blast.
Yeah, and we got him down a little bit. He hung around a little bit longer, and he just kept giving us like I didn't even need the clarity that I didn't have to get into.
And I'm faster than him, so
and I had a Windlace.
So, yeah, you had a Windlace, and I was faster than him. So what ended up happening is you did your first Thunderbolt, and it got him down to, like, I'd say, like, 60% health. And then I get this great spin, and I'm like, dude, do you have another Q? And you're like, yep.
Yep. Because then when I said yep, I was looking down at my magic stick going, yep. I know.
Yeah, exactly. It was awesome. And so I got, like, a full spin on him.
Yeah.
And you got another Thunderbolt, and he died. And then he goes to TP back in, and you glimpse him.
Yeah.
And so we had lane.
But then he walked into lane, and we ended up getting a second kill on him because the glimpse was back off cooldown. I had shipped out a clarity by that point. You had your mango, and we were full health. Yeah. He came back into lane and died again. I think he died twice before he hit level 2.
Yeah, he did. He died twice before he hit level 2, and he just kept quilling. Then Pudge tried to come up. Pudge... You had a great like mini glimpse on Pudge that like
It was just like,
it put Pudge from high ground to low ground.
Well, because he was chasing. What he was doing is he was super low level still. He'd been roaming. He was at best level 2. He got a hook on me, and I was nearly full health.
Rot, yeah,
and so he had rot, and so he threw rot on, and we were running for a little bit, and I was like, I'm really close, and he's been running with me for like 100 units,
seconds,
like. Meh, I'll just get him out of there to get rid of the slow, and I had the windlass.
And it just put him just
far enough
on low ground. Just like he was still only 100 units away, but on low ground, and he's like, "Aww," and I was like, "That was awesome, great job."
It was a great time.
And then I popped the healing ward.
And then it was game on again.
Oh, dude, so much sustain from that lane.
I mean, there shouldn't
because
have
of Juggernaut.
Been.
Well, healing ward.
The healing ward,
it's
sure,
great sustain.
But the real sustain we were getting there was because of the bristle.
Yeah, bristle was an engine to feed us sustain.
We always had mana.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, I'm at 11 stick charges, and I know it maxes at 13. I better use my stick.
Yeah.
Because he's still quilling.
Well, I remember the Tidehunter complaining at about 8 minutes about how nobody was ganking bot, nobody was down there bot helping him. He was having a hard time bot.
Then you gank around, you offlane bitch.
I mean, he was 1800 MMR. It's all right. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like he was confused. He was upset. He was having a hard time versus a Slark.
Chat because I'm way too.
He had a tri-lane. I mean, Pudge. The majority of the time, I feel bad for him because the majority of the time he had Pudge down there, he had Slark down there, and he had Crystal Maiden down there. So I'm sure he had a shit lane. But our lane was going so well, it was hard to.
Well, I remember noting at 10 minutes I hit 52 exactly at 10, 52 last hits, and I was like, oh. Like, I thought I was doing better than this, and then I look up and I'm 3-0-2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, if a kill truly means 2 waves, was what people say, then I was at like 80 last hits or something like that.
We were getting enough farm just from the kills that we were picking up, and I think we even managed to turn a Pudge gank at one point. Or at least a Pudge trade. It was me traded for Pudge.
Oh, and by the time I got Omni Slash, it was a kill every Omni Slash. Yeah. I wasn't fucking around.
The rest of that game, I mean, I guess we can talk about it as we go through each of the heroes here, but suffice it to say... We can
give a synopsis of the game, and then we can go through how we, know.
Suffice it to say, the puck was a miserable fuck for the other team. He kept talking about how...
really?
Yeah.
I was just oblivious to all
this. He was spamming in the all chat, noob Bristleback, fuck this noob Bristleback, I feed. He actually fed intentionally twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, once he charged down mid, sat under our tier 2 tower because we'd lost the tier 1 relatively early.
Maybe that's how I did so well, because I was like, Juggernaut!
He sat under the tier 1 and fed himself to us, the Dire, and then nobody was even present to pick up the kill, unfortunately. I saw Necro TPing in rapidly trying to get the feed kill. And then at one point he sat by our shrine and fed himself to me.
Wow.
I just right-clicked him, lightning blast him down.
So literally this was my best game of Juggernaut I've ever played. With GPM 813, XPM 539, 24 kills, 5 deaths, and 12 assists.
Damn.
Yeah. Best Juggernaut game on this account. And I've been playing a shit ton of Juggernaut, so... I want you to know that it was awesome.
Yeah.
It did. After that game, I did feel like I was on speed. People have asked on the TQA, have you ever came out of a game and were you shaking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is probably the closest game I've had to that. I was just... it felt good. I was RTZ that game, dude. I felt just unstoppable, dude.
It felt good. Especially a lot of the early laning phase felt super coordinated, even though I wasn't able to do much stacking.
Who cares?
I mean, it didn't matter because we were...
Dude, I'd push the lane, I'd take the jungle, I'd push the lane, I'd take the jungle, I'd push the lane, I'd take the jungle. And eventually there was a point where I was like... I probably should fight with you guys. I'm super
I remember
fun.
putting out the call, okay, this is it. We're ahead. Ready. I was like, we're ahead. Yeah. We win. Come on.
Oh, and we did. And there were some great moments. My favorite moment, I'm mid. I'm at probably less than 10% health. I throw up healing ward. I Omni Slash. Spin out of Omni Slash. The healing ward follows me. I get a double kill. And then sail home. And it was beautiful. Otherwise I was just dead.
Yeah.
I was just dead. But I went healing ward, Omni Slash, Q out. And it was just yes!
The panic from the Omni Slash had them. Yeah, they didn't focus on this
kill the
healing ward at all.
No way. Nobody killed the healing ward. Dude, I was like
they did not. I was really surprised at how
75 gold. or 50,
Not even that, just the ability to kill the Jug. You know,
it's a lot of gold and 75 experience. So it's like
it's worth going after.
One right click.
Yeah,
and from any hero.
Yeah,
you don't need to get into base attack times. Nope. But like you can hit the
war. Everybody can do it.
Yeah,
everybody can do it.
All right, let's get into some counters here.
Yeah. So let's do just a quick overview. Disruptor 68th in popularity with an overall 50.28% win rate. So he's definitely near the bottom half of the pick rate of all heroes.
That would be bottom half.
But 50.28%, he's relatively balanced, it seems, whenever he's there.
Balanced hero.
Highest win rate.
Safe lane.
Actually, mid lane.
7% of the time when he goes mid lane,
he wins just a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
But a 50.62% up in the safe
I'm curious
lane.
to see Jug's distribution between safe, off, and mid.
So Jug, second in popularity. I wonder why.
Yeah. Very balanced, too. 50.78.
Yeah.
Not winning a ton, not losing a ton.
Does best in the mid lane as well with his 7%.
I feel like that has more to do with like going up against specific matchups.
Yeah, probably.
But doesn't do good in off lane, below 50 in off lane, above 50 in safe lane and mid lane. Great hero. Love his item build right now. Just great hero.
Yeah.
I love the Juggernaut Arcana, especially the red Juggernaut Arcana. I love seeing the number after I Omni/kill somebody. Just can't suggest it enough how much fun the hero is.
All right, so let's delve into this, shall we?
Yep.
Let's kick off with Disruptor, and there you get pulled up. So Disruptor against Crystal Maiden has a 1.53% advantage, but only a 46.81% win rate.
What is Crystal's win rate? Whoa!
Yeah, Crystal 16th in popularity and sitting at a 55.35% win rate.
Damn.
I guess I get it. She is super powerful right now. She does have that built-in farm mechanic for support, so she can be a little bit greedier. It makes sense as far as
she has a root. Roots are fucking the shit right now, dude.
Yeah.
But the thing is about her root is I can spin it off.
Right. So we'll get into Jug. We'll get into Jug.
Sure
so as far as Disruptor goes, I felt like my strength there was what's my goddamn Q called? I always forget. Thunderstrike.
Thunderbolt.
I feel like Thunderstrike does a decent amount of damage to her because she's pretty fucking squishy.
Weak as fuck. And Thunderstrike does the most damage of any level 1 nuke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure.
At a 40 per strike at 4 strikes, 160 damage. Yeah, that is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I guess as far as like my ability to directly counter Crystal, I have 2 ways to shut down her ult, which I think is a pretty big thing. Being able to glimpse her back, being able to throw down Static Storm.
I feel like you're going to get her in a kinetic field every time.
I mean, as far as her getting away.
Slow.
Yeah, she never got away.
Yeah. Every single skill is good against her. I mean, once again, we're going to get into this, like, your ult is good. Disruptor's ult is good.
No, I think less so this time around, because I think Disruptor he's a balanced hero, and he popped up to this list for a reason, and it's because of that silence. It is because of the silence.
The silence
within the
is
ult.
Extremely good,
and I think that's the element to play up with each of these heroes. So yeah, the silence
and Glimpse
is good
is
for
super long range to stop Crystal Maiden's ult as well.
Right,
super long range when it's level 4. Yeah. So you can like from the fountain be like, oh, is she ulting, and then bloop, glimpse her, and it's like.
So I mean, there's a number of ways to at least shut down her ult, which I think is probably where he gets the biggest advantage over her.
Yeah.
As far as his win rate being subpar versus Crystal, I think that's just a testament to how well Crystal is and how well she can fit into other team comps. It's not like Disruptor's winning or losing a game. It's not like Crystal Maiden is necessarily winning or losing a game. But they can definitely they both can definitely help.
For sure. All right, Juggernaut versus Crystal Maiden. Once again, 47% win rate Juggernaut has versus Crystal Maiden. So Crystal Maiden wins more often than Jug wins.
Your advantage.
But my advantage is 2.25%. Okay, so Crystal Maiden, she has 2 things. She has 2 really good things for me, which is freeze me in place and then slow me, and I just spin and get away.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that is really the big advantage.
Yeah,
also, I can spin to the epicenter. I will take damage. from her ult.
But the worst thing she can do is ult around a Jug, because that's just an easy Omni Slash.
It's a super... So, yeah, usually she's alone or has a buddy nearby, maybe.
Yeah.
I can Omni Slash. I'm invulnerable.
You're not taking damage from the ult.
I can spin when I come out. If she freezes me, I can spin out of the freeze. There was one time I was in the jungle and I was on low ground farming, and I got frozen and was like, oh, Q. And then just ran away. For a second, I was like, oh, God, I'm not dead. Q. And then just got away. Yeah. I think it really comes down to Crystal has that, like, wham bam, which is like Q and frost the area, right?
Yeah.
And then freeze. And I just say, okay, and spin off and run away.
Well, and I'll bet she struggles against most of the heroes with, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, she's worse versus Lifestealer, or terrible against Lifestealer as well.
So Earth Spirit makes sense. Once again, another way to cancel easily is just kick Boulder into her.
Yeah, that's true. Rubik, she's always standing still. Yeah, let's see. Where's Lifestealer? Where do you pop up on this
You'd
list?
think so, but Lifestealer has to walk a long way. And he can get frozen. He's there. He has a negative advantage.
She does.
Oh, she has a negative.
Yeah.
So, and he has a 55% win rate against her. Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, he can just rage. He's built in BKB. Anybody with a BKB versus CM is good.
Anyway, so I think that about sums up Crystal and the advantage there. This particular Crystal felt like
if you can stop her ult, you've got a good advantage over Crystal.
Yeah,
is what the trend.
Well, and if you can shake off the freeze,
yeah.
I mean, or mitigate the freeze in some way, which I think even Disruptor can do to an extent. If she freezes me, it's not like I can't glimpse back the guy who's going to kill me, because it's not going to be her.
Yeah, I mean, she's the setup, and you can get the fall guy.
So let's move into Puck. Anything in particular?
There's no safe lane for Puck. Puck just has never gone safe lane. What were you gonna say?
Was there anything in particular you noticed against Crystal?
Like you said, easy Omni Slash target. It's so easy to the point where it's like, I'm not going to use Omni Slash on Crystal.
I know. There was
Maiden.
definitely a point where you weren't going to waste Omni Slash.
I was like, oh, man. Like, I just diffused her and just chink,
beat her down.
and she just died. Yeah. So, not really.
Okay, let's do Puck versus Disruptor. Disruptor has a 0.75% advantage over Puck, with a 58.81% win rate.
Yeah. Puck has a dismal win rate right now.
Yeah, 43.12%, 75th in popularity. I think this is two things. Obviously, Puck's win rate drops when he goes up against Disruptor slightly. Puck is a slippery bastard. There was a moment in this game where I caught myself joining the Necro in one of those kids chasing the soccer ball around the field moments, where I had to go, wait, this is what Puck does.
When we were like pushing a tier 2 and you guys were up by our tier 1, and it's like, come on, guys.
And I was just like I told that Necro, I was like, Puck gets away.
Yeah.
I know he was at 4% health or 2% health or whatever the fuck he was at, but Puck gets away, and that's life. But Disruptor is really good against those heroes that get away.
Yeah.
Because he has a ton of ways to handle it. I can mitigate it.
Silence. Pull him back.
Right. And with Puck in particular, like whatever Puck does, I have an answer to it. Does he orb away? I've got the glimpse for it. Did I manage to get the drop on him and throw down the static storm or the static field?
Oh, that's great, especially if he illusories. Where he goes like, bahoo! Yeah. And then you just like, okay, ult. And then the second he comes out of that, I think you can still blink that. If you're good enough.
Well, you can't, because your items aren't, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
like you could
potentially do it right before the damage technically takes effect.
Like I think that like there is a ticking motion to Disruptor's static field. But
so
static storm.
Static storm, there we go.
Yeah, whatever. Well. A field of electricity that does damage.
I mean, Disruptor just has so many ways to handle those slippery bastards that it felt obvious. And I felt that game. Admittedly, I don't think we were going up against a very skilled Puck.
The Puck, I mean, there were the clutchest moments of those games, for me at least, were when I was up against Puck. Like top lane, when I was at like 5% health and I got the crit on Puck.
Yeah.
Because I threw down healing, and you're like, you need to throw down healing ward, and I'm like, hurry and threw down healing ward.
Well, and at that point, you had just gotten your basher too, and I think that played a big. I think that played a big role in it, because you were able to stun lock.
And I had defusal, of course, which is doing extra damage. Yeah.
So let's look up old Jugger here versus the Puck.
Wow. Yeah, this makes sense. So Puck actually has an advantage over Juggernaut, a 2.29% advantage, but Juggernaut wins 58% of the time versus Puck, and that just goes right into the 42% win rate that Puck has. The reason Jug's winning against Puck so often is because Puck sucks. Puck is actually good against Jug.
I wonder somewhat if this isn't why, skill bias too. Like I wonder if it's not
maybe skill bias.
You're seeing a lot of Jugs in lower skill. You're seeing a lot of Jugs in all games, right? But you are, and so
you're seeing Puck in the high skill, and you're not seeing.
I'll bet you. Right, but I'm saying I think what will end up skewing that is you probably see Puck more in higher skilled lobbies.
There's some skill bias. I agree. There's some skill bias. Yes, but the silence. I can't spin. If right. Puck initiates on me, I can't do anything.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So if Puck Illusory Orb, bam, silences me, I can't spin that off. That's a silence. Like, I'm silenced. I can't spin that off. Pucks do nuke damage. Juggernaut doesn't like that. Juggernaut likes to spin and run away. Then Dream Coil, if I'm silenced and I need to run, there's another stun that I can't evade. Yeah. So... it totally makes sense.
No, and I could see a more skilled Puck having kind of had his way. Oh,
that Puck was. It worked every single time. Like he got on top of me, silenced me before I stunned.
But he also needs span. Even though he can do that, most Pucks need some sort of follow up.
Span, spinned.
I mean, you know what I mean. Though
the follow up is like the Dagon. Like Pucks build Dagons.
Yeah, and he had a Dagon.
Yeah, so like.
But that was about all he had.
Like, what makes PA
I guess he was doing the best on their team at 20 and 11.
He was a fine Puck. He's 20 and 11. And I'm sure he killed me. I guarantee he killed me at least once.
Dire Heroes killed. No, he never killed you.
Yeah, top. He's very top. He killed me twice.
Oh, yeah, he killed you twice.
Which is him. Bam! Illusory Orb. He's got that talent to make it go super fast. He race cars in. He silences me before I hit Q because it's easy. He Dagons me. He Dream Coils me. And he just right clicks me down. What I started realizing that I needed to do was just stop freaking out, man. And fight him. And just like, all right, like I'm going sword against magic right now. Like I'm just going to start swinging at a ghost because that's what it feels like. I'm like a sword swinging at a ghost.
Well, and even for as decently as he did in that early game, it just didn't matter.
No.
You had too good of a start.
And I had some outplays on him. I will say that. Like I had like two specific outplays. One where he was definitely going to get me and I turned an Abyssal and just chink, chink, dead. Yeah. And it was like, I was super low, and he did not expect that. And then it got the GG right after. Yeah. Then I did that, which was awesome.
He was very pissed off at Bristleback in particular. Yeah. Very.
I just noticed. I looked at the chat after that because I was like, that was sweet. I bet he says GG after that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to old Bristleback. So Disruptor versus Bristleback Bristleback actually comes out the better on advantage with a 0.56% advantage. Disruptor still manages to pull out a 50.27% win rate over Bristleback, even with and Bristle is in a decent place right now, 45th in popularity, a 50.32% win rate.
Look at his. Well, that's just a trending guide. Whatever.
And I'll be honest, like I have ways of we're not talking about a huge advantage here for Bristleback, but I think had this Bristleback, did he ever end up going BKB?
Not that I saw.
Yeah. He went Heart. And
he just was weak. I feel like we tilted him. Like,
we
spun him around in an office chair and
if he had
tilted
gotten
his equilibrium, dude.
I definitely felt like I had the advantage over him in the early game. Had he gotten a BKB, he could have run me down every time he ran into me.
He never hit me either. Like that was one thing that he never did and that's something I see on Bristleback all the time is like they don't feel that they do damage with their right click. But guess what augments your right click? Everything you do.
Yeah.
Literally everything you do augments your right click. So do that more often, Bristleback.
As far as like any particular advantages I felt I had over him, the only thing, like I mentioned, was if he
trap
so long as he
kinetic field.
Yeah, no, there are ways to hold him down or keep him where I want him. Like I have that little bit.
He's fast and slippery.
I have that bit of control. Whenever I'm in a situation where I need to get away from him, I have the glimpse. Again, all of that super easily countered by a fucking BKB.
Yeah.
And this guy chose to rush Heart.
BKB was totally the play against us, I would say.
Oh yeah, Necro between the Necro. I mean, even the Tide. To avoid the Tide Ravage. And then, of course, literally everything I do is countered by a BKB.
Yeah. They can walk through walls if they have a BKB.
Yeah.
Dude, Disruptor is like the ultimate wizard. He's like, I can magically bring you back. I can build a wall that you can't go past. I can bring you in a field where you can't do anything.
I only got one TP glimpse though that whole game.
It was like the TP glimpse to get.
It was entertaining.
It wasn't a funny like haha. It was funny. But it was
funny.
Just good.
The thing is, it's always funny
because it was so early in laning phase. It was
because
so good.
I felt like we were picking on a weaker Dota player. I will admit,
he definitely was.
I felt like we were picking on a weaker Dota player. He was in the off lane. He was not playing Bristleback in a very skillful way by any means. He didn't know when to get aggressive. He didn't know when to play it safe.
He should have just existed, not quilled
for a bit.
Just tried to trade with me. And got Bristleback at level 1.
Yeah.
Tried to fuck with my deny from me. Try and get a few last hits. He would have been way better off.
Yeah, for sure. I was wondering what he came. I want to see what he came to lane with.
Drag the slider. So that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Ring of Protection. Gonna build into Bassi, Stout Shield, and Tango. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. He has some extra armor. He probably built Bassi. Okay, yep. Gets Bassi. Gets Wand and a Fairy Fire.
Okay.
I don't know what the Fairy Fire is going to do. And then gets a 19-minute Vanguard.
Yeah.
Should have got
he did
treads.
Vanguard into Treads. Wow.
Yeah.
And his treads were like 24 minutes.
And then Reaver.
And then into Heart.
No, that was not the play. That's not the build.
That was not the play.
So Juggernaut. Juggernaut versus Bristleback. I have a 0.33% advantage and a 52% win rate. Bristleback's overall is 50.32, 42nd most picked. Juggernaut is 50.78% win rate. My thing here is Goo. Goo don't get me down, I think. So quills still go through while I'm spinning.
Right.
So they still stack, still do damage.
Again, just kind of a slight advantage, it feels like.
Slight advantage. I feel like the main thing is if I'm getting chased by a Bristleback, I have a last resort spin. If that fails, I have a last resort Omni him. Because chances are it's just me and him.
I feel like in a straight matchup, no items, you two have a hard time killing each other.
It's gonna. I think.
You know what I mean?
It just depends. Like if we're doing if I'm hitting him in the face and he's hitting me in the face, I win. But if he's like turning his back on me and stuff like that, he wins for sure.
Another important thing to bring up here is that you went Silver Edge on Jug.
After Abyssal Blade, you were like, we need a Silver Edge, and I was like, okay, I have 800 GPM, I'll get that in 4 minutes.
Yeah,
but it
was the right thing to do. It made killing that Jug or that Bristle possible.
Oh yeah, and it was good against Pudge.
Let's we can move into old fucking Pudge. Is Pudge still number one? Is he still number one on the fucking? Of course he is. First in popularity. You people
because
are gross.
he can hook. That's why.
Because you're all a bunch of hookers.
Dude, if they got rid of the ability hook, he'd drop to last place. It is literally that and only that, dude. And he looks polarizing.
Yes.
That's why. He looks polarizing and he can hook people.
So he's got an overall 52.67% win rate. Versus Pudge, Disruptor has a 0.07% win rate, or 0.07% advantage, with a 47.82% win rate. So his win rate drops, though according to old Dota Buff, he's got a slight advantage. Mm-hmm. I'll say that...
Super even.
I think Pudge is the antithesis of what I am looking for in an enemy as Disruptor, right? If Pudge hooks you, he hooks you out of position.
You can't glimpse yourself.
I can't glimpse an ally, and if I do glimpse him, odds are he was standing there for a long goddamn time waiting to get that right hook.
Yeah.
So that blows. I do have the ability to cancel his ult, and if he's in Static Storm, he's taking a shitload of damage. Even better is if he's in Static Storm with Rot.
Yeah, and
which happened a couple of times. Yeah. He fucks himself. Although he denied himself that one time.
He denied during an Omni Slash once, and I was like,
He denied during a Disruptor roll once, too.
And you're just like, fuck you.
Yeah, it feels like bullshit. I caused that.
That is bullshit, dude.
I made that happen.
I feel like there should be a second where he has to take no damage before he can.
I feel like if I am the reason,
himself.
I feel like if I am the reason rot is still on, that's my rot damage.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel. I'll argue with the Omni Slash. Like you're not causing the rot damage.
Still
it's
not skillful.
Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. You're not. No. But with Omni Slash, you are not causing the damage on the rot. He is choosing and electing to have the rod on.
Yeah.
When I throw down Static Storm, that motherfucker is
he
not
elected to turn
choosing.
rod on before.
But I deny him the option to turn it off.
He maybe he didn't want to because he can deny himself.
That's bullshit.
Why would you
it. Do not play devil's advocate for fucking Pudge players. But beyond that, I'll be honest. I noticed jack shit about having any advantage over him. I
will say this. He's standing just like you said. He's standing still. If he's got me, goddamn, I'm gonna love you if you throw down Static Storm.
Right.
And he fresh.
I have that way, and it is worth it.
I'm out.
And even beyond that, it allows me to use Static Storm as a disengage because if Pudge grabs my jug, I'm like I can't. It's not.
Or you can
wasting.
Just glimpse him. You don't have to Static Storm even. You can just glimpse him and it'll stop it.
No, it won't.
Yeah, it'll stop a dismember. Yes, it will. Glimpse will stop dismember.
Even if he stays stationary, if he goes back to the same place?
If he was stationary for 100 million years and then did that, that's glimpse is a disable. Yeah, so it would stop it. So you could...
So I could glimpse him still.
So yeah, from far away, you could even be like,
that's true.
My jug, glimpse!
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
It'd be fine and it would stop it.
Okay.
So
I mean, I guess that's where the slight advantage comes into play. Pudge is in a good place right now.
Pudge is picked all the fucking time.
And Disruptor's not picked that much.
Yeah.
People aren't as skilled in Disruptor. That's what I'm going to go with.
Disruptor, good hero. Easy Marquise's hero.
Yeah. The old ghost of Easy Marquise.
All right, so Juggernaut, 1.53% advantage over Pudge with a 49% win rate with 1.7 million matches played because this is the first picked hero and the second picked hero.
Oh my god.
So since 7.04 there have been 1.7 million matches against.
Well, I mean Pudge, this has been the last week.
Pudge versus Jug. So in the last week 1.7 million matches. 49% win rate for Jug. I just think this goes into, at this point, with this big of a sample size, what's Pudge's win rate? 52%? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, 52%.
What's Jug's win rate? 50%. What's the win rate versus? 49%. Wow, differentials work. That's it. I feel like
Pudge is in a slightly better place than Jug is.
So he can dismember me during spin. That sucks.
Yes, it does.
But alternatively, I can spin and I don't know. I can Omni.
You can get away from the run.
I can get away from it. I don't know. It's just it feels so.
Well, and you're
even.
A crit hero. You dish out massive damage, which is what you kind of need.
I can chase him down
to deal with him.
Yeah. So I guess if he hooks me, I can hurry and spin. To the point where
let's think about this.
Diffuse a blade. A diffuse a blade's always good against Pudge. Yeah. When he's running away. Also, a lot of people are building Blink on Jug, which you can blink and find him, which basically getting to Pudge is the point.
And Pudge is usually standing somewhere all by himself, trying to hook you out of position.
So,
and if you're building Blink and you're getting...
I get an Omni Slash on Pudge, it's usually... every single slash is probably going on Pudge.
Right.
And then I just spin right after and he's dead. So, I think that's why there's an advantage. I'm not taking rot damage during spin. I'm not getting slowed during spin. I have a healing ward, so if we just want to go face-to-face fighting, I'm going to win that unless he elects to kill my healing ward, which is going to be hard for him because he has to run up all slow-like and kill it.
Yeah.
I'd say healing ward's super good.
Yeah, I can see why Jug has an advantage there.
Yeah.
Or has the advantage. And
if you get hooked as a Jug, you're not as scared as some other heroes. Because you can, after the dismember, you can hopefully escape.
I'll bet you that in a month's time, even if all things stay the same, all things being equal, I'll bet in a month's time, Jug's win rate goes up above Pudge's easily. Because I think we're seeing...
I think the people with Arcana will be like, I like my Arcana, but I'm not very good at Jug.
Right.
And stop playing.
Or they'll get better at Jug.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I mean,
they
those
won't.
are the...
They won't get better at Jug.
They might. You're getting better.
Oh, no, dude. That was just a good game. I'm not good at Jug. I can farm with him. I can't play him.
Oh, okay. The one I've been waiting for. My favorite in the world. The hero, the Disruptor, is literally the best against
the hero
of all the heroes.
And Slark picked into you. Slark.
Oh, he's a slippery bastard. Disruptor has a 2.66% advantage over him and a 54.25% win rate. Duh.
What's Slark's win rate?
Slark's overall win rate is 47.88. Eighth most popular, though.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's slipperiest bastard in the game with.
But I negate all of his slipperiness.
So who has ability who can stun when he is in his black shadowy form? You've got Centaur can stun. You've got Slardar can stun.
Tide Ravage, Warlock ult.
There are a lot of... but there's a ton of spells in the game, and there's only like 15 that work on Slark.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So that's
while
in but I mean,
the beauty of this
yours is king.
No, yeah, it is.
Yours is king.
It absolutely
because
is.
usually it should always be accompanied with a kinetic field. And he can't pounce out.
Every time he jumped on me, which he did, that motherfucker bought himself that Shadow Blade early on, and he went hunting for me every time.
I know.
He went looking for the easy kill every time.
And we were sticking together.
I knew what was going to happen the moment the fucking Shadow Blade came out. I made sure to hang around near people.
Yeah.
Every time he came at me, I dropped that ult on top of him. I dropped the kinetic field, and even if he got the kill on me, there was a Necro there with a Reaper Scythe. There was a Jug there with an Omni Slash.
And they hugged the wall. Just fight me, dude.
Yeah.
may as well take some stats. I do it too, dude.
I do too. Everybody does. As soon as it goes down, I'm out of here. Yeah. As soon as it goes down, I'm gone.
No, Slark should have just really turned 100 times and just at least I'll get some essence shift. I'm gonna die anyway.
I don't know what he was thinking.
He won't get essence shift, but he'll take it from me for a little while, right? Make me a little weaker.
I don't know what he was thinking.
Dude, it was so great so many times where I was like, oh, there's a Slark. Oh, there's a static storm. Oh, there's a fucking Omni Slash. Bam!
He was always dead. He always died.
Yeah.
And he was always trying to sneak in with somebody else. It reveal invis? Yeah.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's extra good. That's the spell versus Slark. That's why you are.
Let's see. Creates a damage. Also mutes and increases duration. Oh, maybe a mute. Reveal.
I don't know. I feel like you can't be invis in a static storm.
Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe you can't. Or maybe it was just revealing because I'm
pretty sure you cannot be invis in a static storm.
We're gonna be wrong on this. Static form reveal invisibility.
You got it.
Let's see, I can't see from here.
Okay. Disruptor Dota Wiki. Let's see. Reveals the target. I just read that. Reveals the target.
Let's see. Sounds provided by an aura. Lingers. Sounds as a mute to vulnerable units. Deals damage.
It does. Let's just go ahead and be authorities and say it does.
No.
If you're invisible and you get hit with static storm, you're not invisible anymore because you're in a static storm where lightning is reverberating through your body, thus showing you, and that's how it works. It was up, dude. It was up on this page. It was at the very top. Disruptor drag the by a single target, but more importantly, grants vision on targets to prevent jukes and escapes. Very last line of this paragraph. But more importantly, grants vision on the target to prevent jukes and escapes.
Oh, so I was probably throwing Thunder Strike on top of him. Thunder Strike is. I probably put Thunder Strike on him, and then he went invis.
Regardless, it is the ultimate spell versus Slark.
Yeah,
he was fucked every
time. He was fucked every time.
It's easy to hit. And it's easy
I forgot, dude. You know what's funny is I wouldn't have remembered how much fun it is to play Disruptor in certain situations if he hadn't just gifted me that last pick Slark. If he hadn't done that, I would have not. I might not have remembered how fun Disruptor can be.
Hey, Disruptor's good against Puck too, for similar reasons.
Yeah, I mean, there would have been, but it is
slippery heroes. They had two of the slipperiest.
It just made it all the best.
Oh, it was great.
Literally everything you can. Literally everything. So all right, remember this, folks. that are out there playing support, if you see the enemy team pick a Slark and you're thinking, oh man, I hate playing support, do yourself a favor, pick up a Disruptor and enjoy.
Or if you're like, oh man, I hate going up against Slark and I don't want to play Disruptor, pick Timbersaw and enjoy because those are both awesome counters.
Okay, well we gotta for completion's
so
sake.
Jug, Slark's good against Jug. He can still essence shift when I'm spinning. The one thing
a lot of matches these two as well.
Yeah, 1.2 million.
The second most popular and 8th most popular. So.
Yeah, 1.2 million matches, Slark v Jug. I feel like Slark can get to that, like, I'm going to win the game mode faster than Jug can. I will say that. Like, Slark can get, because of Essence Shift. I feel like 40 Essence Shift on a Slark doesn't matter if I have an item more than a Slark.
I think it has a lot to do with Essence Shift. I think you're right there. I think I think Slark, I think a lot of the things that counter Slark's abilities are not necessarily things that you're going to pick up on a Jug.
Is Omni-Slash good against Slark?
No, it's terrible.
For Shadowblade, no. For his ult, no. It's like the worst ability versus Slark.
So your ultimate goes away. Yes, you do crit, which is nice. You do.
But he's still like around and stuff, and and
he has the ability. And
steals my stats.
It is an interesting even matchup in the sense that you both have the ability to part ways, regen,
each other,
and come back into the fight pretty much equal with where you were.
We both can be like, sidebar.
And then come back. Between healing ward, between his ult's passive, you guys have the ability to kind of disengage and come back at each other pretty quickly. I think where Slark gets that slight advantage is most Jugs are probably going pretty heavy stat builds, and Slark gets to feed off of that.
And if it comes down to that one-on-one man-v-man fight, Slark's probably just going to tick me down.
Well, what were you going to build? Like, what were you going to build to... You would have had to deviate from your Jug.
Basher. Well, as you saw in that very last fight...
But the Basher only helps if you beat him to it. Like, if he beats you to the Basher, it has the ability to work the opposite way.
Yeah, they are like two even brawlers. Like, like you throw them in a boxing match, it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I really don't.
I'm not sure who's gonna win this fight.
I think that's kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what you would build on Jug to guarantee your, like if it all rode on what you built on Jug to deal with that Slark.
Abyssal, but you need to be careful because you need to see when he press Q. Because if Slark press Q, he's just gonna fucking dispel your Abyssal. Yeah. It blows. So Abyssal Shadowblade, so you can Shadowblade up to Slark, Abyssal,
right? But that becomes that Shadowblade becomes a deviation, and of course you had to make that deviation here anyway, and you did get to do that a couple of times. But like it was only because the Bristleback. And I mean, I don't think the Slark was ever active in our minds with regards to the Shadowblade that you built, or the Silver Edge.
I never had a Shadowblade.
Yeah.
Well, I did, but never on me.
Right.
Like by the time it got to me, it was a Silver Edge. Right. Never once had a Shadowblade.
But I mean, you know what I mean? Like that was never the thought that was going through our mind. We were thinking about dealing with the Bristleback. That was kind of a side advantage.
You were just like, hey, by the way, I know you're 5 slotted. Do you want your 6 slot to be Silver Edge? And I was like, sure thing.
Although, and then what really, I'm just gonna talk about it again. You know what? The safest I've ever felt carrying a gem on a fucking support? This game.
Yeah.
Because I just walked around with that gem. I walked around with that gem like I owned the place.
Yeah. And I was just like, stick close to me. Stick close to me, child. We don't want you to wander up too far.
Because every time he'd walk up, we're like, oh, I'm going to pick off Disruptor. It's like, no, I see you there. And then just preliminary status.
He needed to get an Orchid, is what he needed. Yeah. Had he gotten Orchid, that's almost better than BK. I mean, in a way it is. If he just...
I think he did go BKB, if I recall correctly.
No. We don't want to play a fucking game with you, Jordan Hansen. Okay, what? No, he didn't. He should have gone Orchid, dude. Orchid would have been legit against me.
Yeah,
against... There it is. Orchid would have been good against everybody on this team. He should have gone Bloodthorn.
He just built the BKB late.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh, because he had a slider thing going on. Okay.
He got it like 42 minutes into the game, but then it was way too late.
I think that's it. I think let's read last week's corrections.
Okay, where are we at on time?
Enough time to read predictions and then do plugs. Or not predictions, corrections, and then do plugs.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Scroll down.
We need to get back to Professor Chaos about the in-house. Professor, if you're listening,
we're going to get that.
We're thinking about what you said.
Is it... About some confusing info on Counterattack.
Episode 4 and 5.
Okay, this is a long one, but we got to get to it.
Okay, first, I'd like to say that I did try to get this info across during one of the team streams already, but I'm not sure if the message was received because I had to close the stream and do other stuff. Unfortunately, never have the time to watch a stream because when I'm not trying to not suck at life, I'm trying to not suck at Dota. We feel you. So here's the email. First, I got to say, I'll list down things because my English is self-taught and it's simpler than articulating. Well, your English has been great thus far.
Yeah, so it's better than mine.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I thought this was a native speaker. I'll be honest, until I read that line.
Yeah.
About the matchup, Axe versus Death Prophet, his blade mail doesn't matter. Blade mail matters quite a lot for DP because you might not be able to make the ghosts not go through Axe as he calls with infinite armor after you just ultied. Sorry, I'm far away reading this.
Do you want me to just read this?
Yeah.
Okay, blade mail matters quite a lot versus DP because you might not be able to make it through the ghost, not go through his axes when he calls infinite. I can't read. That's the problem.
After you just ulted and you don't get the benefit of the heat until the end of it.
That, of course, doesn't count Octarine's spell life seal, but really doesn't matter that much. 2, about the matchup Axe versus Death Prophet. He gets to spin because of the ghosts. Paraphrasing. This came up twice this last week, I think. Axe doesn't spin to spells, not even physical damage spells.
That was what we were trying to decide last week was to physical.
No, I think I was like, no, ghost cause spins. I don't think we were trying to decide.
Well, no,
anything.
I mean, I didn't know. Like, I'll be honest. I have. Well, and we talked about it even with the. I think he brings up the shackle a little bit later. Like we kind of discussed the shackle even at the time. I was like, we're proccing damage instances.
You think,
yeah, but it is just to right. It is just to right clicks. Which good.
Ghosts don't scare Axe. He doesn't spin when he sees a ghost. Okay. On Death Prophet's advantage over Axe, I don't play Death Prophet a lot, but I see it working as a deterrence and only as that. If you get called, you're fucked. But if you don't position yourself correctly before team fights, Axe can never get a good call if you are not in it. If you're outside of his call, you can easily use him because it's a core item. I think we talked about this a little bit. You can silence him so he would be able to cast Culling Blade, so he wouldn't be able to cast Culling Blade after he lands. And you can even ult immediately after the Yules, since most of the blade mail time would be wasted during Yules. Doing that puts Axe team in an awkward position, which is either fight into an exorcism or leave Axe to die and have no initiation for a while. That's where the advantage comes from, in my opinion. If Axe can't do what he does best, unless you are caught out of position, then you are a great hero against Axe.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
4, when Roland tries to show off his knowledge about Phoenix, he says that Egg has an attack speed slow near it. Phoenix's ult doesn't deal slow of either move speed or attack speed.
That's why this show is a definitive source of Dota knowledge.
This is why we love these emails.
Yeah.
5, on Spec's advantage against Axe. I understand why you didn't see the advantage in that game because you had to go for a bad man type of build. But you even comment on another hero afterwards. Radiance. Spec's ult as your team starts to fight is one of the best things you can do if you're afraid of a counter initiation. Oh, Blink Dagger.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Just ask those Earthshakers that use their ult in the trees because he didn't realize his blink went on cooldown.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
I know listing down these things and making quick remarks can seem rude. It wasn't.
It was not rude.
Not
we
rude
welcome
at all.
this. We love this.
This is great. I wish we had one of these every week. But I thought it was the best way to say what I wanted to say in a quicker manner. I respect you all and all the shows. You are great. Dotby came from the podcast I would listen whenever
every other one I'm subscribed to was already listened
to the first one I listen to every day. Wow. So it went from his last to his first. That's cool. We're getting better at it. I hope to find the time to actually watch some of Adopt streams, but you know how it is. Life gets in the way. Yes, I do. It's a telling thing that we take time or even make time to play some Dota 2, a game that every loss weighs a ton and a win seems like a fraction.
Not today's win.
No. That win was huge. And a game that sometimes gives you a day of toxic people, minus 25s and stress, and still we better be playing Dota than doing life stuff. Life sucks QED. Quite enough dick.
I don't know what QED. I don't know.
Means. P.S. Your content is great and is an inevitable success. Wow. Just keep grinding and don't let the negative 25s defeat you.
Thank you. That was from... Can you read up there? Are you going to have a hard time
All
pronouncing your
right,
name?
so I'm
Guilherme.
Guilherme,
Thank you very much for the email. Anytime
Yes,
you guys want to send us
please,
an
yeah.
email,
we don't
do
find
it.
it rude.
No.
Of course I thought it slowed when you walked near my egg. Of course I did. Like, that's the point. We've made this. We are not like seers of knowledge.
The point of this show is to learn along with everybody else. We are learning. The only thing I knew before doing this episode was the Disruptor rocks against Slark.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I knew before I went into this episode.
This is about learning with everybody. So yeah, any corrections you have will be read on the show, definitely.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Feelings don't get hurt around here.
Let's see. Was that?
That's it.
That was it.
He said that in a stream, and I caught it in a stream. He listed it off in the stream. Just really quickly, and then
whenever we stream, Roland is able to see the Twitch chat better than the rest of us because he's running dual monitors. The rest of us are running single monitors. Just FYI.
Ursi has dual monitors.
Oh, Ursi does, yeah.
Ursi's just lame.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, we got a ton of emails we do need to get back to. So if you've emailed us, Trevor C, you sent us an email about old school Dota. Ditman, you sent us. Oh no, I hit you up. I think about that Q&A. I got it on the
Legal
list.
Zoom.
Legal Zoom, fuck you guys.
Yeah, serious. I did it myself,
No,
bitch.
fuck you guys. We might want to advertise for
Oh, yeah. If you guys want to advertise with us, that's fine.
We would use Legal Zoom for everything.
What? I did it myself, bitch.
I'm going to have to delete this episode one day, I bet. And then, I think I already mentioned Erland.
And then Erland?
Erland B, yeah. Professor
That's
C.
a great
That's Professor
name.
Chaos.
I
Erland,
know.
Yeah,
It's
I like it too.
fucking great name.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Dude, good name.
Good
All
name,
right.
Professor.
Cyphus bot
Okay,
on.
next week is the
Wiki wacky wookie
whatever
week.
you want to call it week. Initially we were gonna do. We've had this idea for like 2 years that we were gonna swap around the show host and do like a wonky week.
I
for like
haven't had
April
that
Fools.
idea for 2 years.
Earthy and I have pitched this idea several
You
times.
guys have bad ideas, especially
This is a
Ursi.
great idea. People, you know how many people are messaging me about all sorts of shit about the next week?
Really?
Oh yeah, so many people hitting me up about like me and Proud are gonna get like a 40 question good or garbage if Kumamizu and Tanaden and TJ and all those guys have their say. It's gonna be a fun run. So tune in next week for the whatever. I already forgot what we called it. The mix-up week.
Hurry up, because we got a meeting.
Oh, okay.
An impromptu meeting.
Find us at defenseofthepatients.com. Follow us on Twitter at @p_show. Patreon.com/defenseofthepatients is where you can go support the show. Awesome. Stay tuned. We are going to be doing a TI fundraiser coming up. We're working out the particulars. Going to do some giveaways with it. We need your help to get to TI.
We're just going to say this. It's going to be fucking epic, and there's going to be multiple epics.
Yes, because
it's probably going to be a
are going to need some help.
6-stream thing over the course of months.
Yeah, because we just got the business going. We just got the bank account and all that stuff set up. We don't have any advertisers yet. That's what we're working on now, is getting our advertisers.
You want to advertise with .p?
Send us an email to
What about you,
defenseofthepatients@gmail.com.
You want to advertise with us, you shitty service? I don't need your services. I did it myself.
LegalZoom. LegalZoom is the best thing out there. I'd love to have
If
them
you
on
would
the
like
show.
to advertise on the next show, I will definitely correct my opinion about you. Okay?
Dota Picker, we're looking at you mostly. All
Yeah,
right?
Dota Picker, you got some back pay.
Yeah.
Okay? You got some back pay.
Okay, so emails to defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. You can also, fuck it, discord.gg/.p. That's the last one I'll do.
And that is all for now.
All right, until next time, guys. New Patreon episode is either out right now.
It's out right now.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's the 31st. It's out right now.
Okay, so I'll post that one tonight. Too.
Yeah,
okay.
You're gonna be posting 2 episodes. It's out right now.
All right,
I
so
hope
if you're a
enjoy it.
Patreon, if you're a member of Patreon, if you're a patron for .p, .patron, whatever the fuck.
It's our 4th episode, I believe.
Yeah, 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
So go check it out. If you just donate even as little as $1, I think $1 is the minimum you can donate to Patreon.
Wait, there's 4 episodes for the low price of $1.
You pledge $1, you can listen to all 4 of those episodes. They've been fun. The one that's coming
super
out,
casual, super fun.
The last one
this one I flame it.
We go off the rails on this last episode.
I go real hard on Ursi, which a moment I felt bad, and then I was like, why would I feel bad? I don't feel bad.
Oh, okay.
You know, like he like talks all cool when I'm not around, and then I walk around. I'm like, what were you talking about? And he's like, nothing. I don't know. I wasn't talking about anything.
Oh my
because
God.
I fucking crush his dreams, dude.
Oh my God,
That's
you're
why.
such a dick.
All right.
Such a dick. All right, that's it, folks. Until next time, this is Cyphus for Roland and LegalZoom saying good luck and Godspeed.